Welcome to the Honest Hour. I'm your host, Luis Acevedo, founder of MOT Media, and we also have MOT Today on Sundays, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm the co-host of that with Mick and James, and then Mick and James have MOT Sports on Saturdays. The time's kind of fluctuating at the moment, but Saturdays, you can look out for MOT Sports, but today is the Honest Hour, Monday through Friday. I know I've been absent for pretty much all of last week. And the reason for that is because I got really, really sick. Um, like it was intense, agonizing abdominal pain. Um, when I didn't go to the bathroom, and it was intermittent, and it just was persistent for like Wednesday until Friday. I started getting some relief, and then Saturday, I felt almost normal. Sunday felt almost normal. I didn't have a choice on Sunday though because I had to go to the farm, shovel some manure because that's the agreement that we have with them. So that way we get some raw milk. Um, so I power through that, and now today I feel 100%, and I'm ready to be back doing the Honest Hour. I had a good topic that I wanted to discuss with everybody on Wednesday, I believe it was, before I really, really fell ill. I started to feel the signs of it at the time, but there the pain wasn't as intense, but I started to feel very fatigued. Anyway, so the topic that I wanted to go over isn't actually on. So on TikTok here, I have a black green screen behind me with a list of topics. We'll get to those topics shortly. But this is actually something that I wanted to explore and share with you guys uh, on Wednesday, but I didn't get the opportunity to because I think that this will hopefully help people see things differently. So when we look at like social media ads, right? Or any kind of advertisement that comes across your internet as you're on your phone. A lot of people are aware of the fact that there are tracking devices, if you will, that collect your data and then are able to give you ads based on what you've searched, based on what you've liked, based on what you watched, what you said, all of these things, right? Everybody's had that moment where it was like, I just said that last week, and now I'm getting ads for it, and it's weird. And it's because of the data that is extracted from our smart devices every day. We voluntarily give that up, whether uh, we like it or not. We do to use the product. Now, I started thinking there is an element of truth in nature and technology as well that most people are um, unaware of or don't think of or just totally miss in their hatred of lack of censorship and their stride for privacy. So when we look at the real world, we have things that are called coincidences. Some of us call them synchronicities. Synchronicities are basically, when you are thinking of something, seeing something, doing something, um, or not seeing something, but you're doing something, saying something along those lines, same way as when you were searching on your phone, right? But then in reality, that thing appears in some way, shape, or form, whether it be in a movie, whether it be in a graphic design, a bumper sticker, right? A word somebody says on the radio. The timing is just eerie, right? It's like, wow, art's cool. Or it's like, wow, I was just thinking that, and now here's this that's playing on the radio. Or I was just said that, and now look at over there on that car, there's a bumper sticker of the wolf that I was just talking about. So I think that this is analogous to what we experience on social media. So, what's your green score? Right? Yeah, we'll get into all of that. If I think I know where you're going with it, which is the whole taxes stuff on the cows and sheep's. But I think that this is analogous to what we see on smart devices when they extract data. But this would be God, right? So this would be God, nature, whatever, the universe, however you want to phrase it. I call it God, extracts our data and then shows us signs or things of that nature. So that was one thing that I thought was a good analogy to bring to people so that way maybe they could look at this technology in a different way because its technology isn't necessarily a good or bad thing, right? It can be used for evil, it can be used for good. Ultimately, it's up to us because it's the intent behind it. And so when we see the data, right, then it's like taking our stuff and then we're seeing ads for the latest shampoo because you said you had greasy hair or something, right? Hey, what's going on? I'm back. Yeah, I'm back. They let me back in here. We're back in here. No more ban. I'm going to try to watch my words, watch my topics. But anyway, so I just thought I'd share that analogy with you guys because I thought it was quite useful. And in viewing technology and viewing nature and seeing that there is a connection there because every time that we're creating something, it has to come from nature. The idea, it always has to come from nature, which is why I never really like the term artificial intelligence, or anything like that because is it really artificial? Now, I'm not trying to get too philosophical here or go down these rabbit holes, but I just wanted to bring that analogy up because I thought it was interesting. Now, we can get into the topics because I think that the topics are also interesting. And then we can go off into some other tangents that I might explore on the show today because there's a lot that I want to say. Like for instance, speaking on this whole spirituality thing, today I consider the fact that because I normally don't get sick, and I got really sick this for almost a week, from Wednesday to pretty much today. I feel 100%. Sunday I wasn't feeling 100%, but today I feel 100%. So almost a week I was totally out, and then 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago, I was also pretty sick. So I've been considering the fact that tying this into what we were just talking about, the spiritual world with technology, is that what if me getting sick the way I have is not just a biological detox, but a spiritual detox? Maybe it's something trying to wake me up spiritually. I don't know. I just thought about that today. But yeah, so anyway, let's jump right into these topics because this is rather interesting, and there's a whole rabbit hole we can go down with just this first one here. This first article comes from Zero Hedge. You guys know I like Zero Hedge. I read Zero Hedge every day. I recommend everybody else do the same because they're a good source of information. But right here, so New Zealand to tax cow, sheep, burps for climate change. So New Zealand has become the first country to impose a tax on sheep and cow burps in an effort to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The consumption of animal-based products has long been in the crosshairs of various climate change activists and policymakers, and now plans are in the process of being unveiled to tax farmers on their livestock's flatulence. The island's nation population is of around 5 million people. They are outnumbered by 10 million cows and 26 million sheep. However, a report stated that almost half the country's total greenhouse emissions comes from agriculture, mainly methane. More than 85% of New Zealand's total methane emissions comes from two agricultural sources, animal stomachs and animal manure, with the former accounting for 97% of the total, and cows almost 95%. The methane is exhaled while 5% of it is emitted through flatulence. So we've joked, a lot of people have joked about this for a while that, oh, what are they going to do? Try to stop the cows from farting and burping and all this stuff if you're so concerned about the methane. Well, it looks like they're trying to do that in New Zealand. Now, firstly, I would not get freaked out about this in any way, shape, or form. It's rather humorous because how in the hell are you going to implement that? How are you going to implement that? Who's going to be going around tracking cow burps and farts every time they poop in sheeps? I mean, who's going to be going around tracking that stuff? Nobody. Nobody. Now, I think that it's going to be more of a social enforcement. I think it's going to be the thing. It's going to be more social. And I think that farmers that become more connected to the grid are going to be susceptible to heavy monitoring because of smart devices. So the smart devices, although they may be dumb and inaccurate, will provide some data indicating when the cow, is releasing gases and harming the environment. But ultimately, I think that it's not going to work and it's rather humorous. And the real objective to this is really simple. It's really, really simple. It's to get rid of animal-based products. That's the real agenda here. That's been the real conspiracy, some can say, for a long time, is to get rid of meat and animal products. The reason for that is to make the population extremely dependent upon the state system to live. Give me a second here. It looks like we have some really bad connection issues. I think that's why we're dropping people watching the live. So I'm going to turn on my Wi-Fi again and see if that works. Sometimes my Wi-Fi doesn't work the greatest. Sometimes it works much better. So we'll see if that fixes the issue. But that's ultimately the goal, is to remove all animal products and to make us weak. But it's not everybody either, right? Because this is consent. So you have to give into it to begin with. So you're already consenting if you're like, oh, yeah, let me try that Beyond Burger, right? So you're already beginning to give them consent that, hey, this is an okay idea to go ahead and make these lab-grown meats. Now, these lab-grown meats will feed people, will probably be, I don't want to say beneficial, but would probably allow a lot of people to survive in the future, the same way that GMOs and what else, like soy and all this stuff is allowing people to live right now, not for a long time necessarily, but nonetheless live. We got a comment here and we got a guest request. We'll see about the guest request in a second. Let me read this comment. On YouTube, they will have you report your livestock numbers and tax accordingly. No need to monitor the bodily functions. Maybe that's how they'll do it. But I don't know who would really consent to that either. And I don't even know how they would get it passed. Like, you would have to keep brainwashing the public, I think, for a long time in order for people to fall to that. And I feel that you would have to really, so it'd be really mismatched. So you'd probably have to really target the urban communities to then punish the rural communities, essentially. Because I think, if you were going to do something, that's the way you would do it. Now we have a guest here that wants to come in. Jimmy Ray Moncasson? I don't know. Let's see. All right. Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good.
Good. So what did you want to come on and talk about?
You have gun control on it. Does that mean you're for it or against it?
Okay. Yeah, so we haven't got to that part yet. So, did you have anything that you wanted to add regarding the taxes on animals?
All I heard was you talking about lab grown meats.
Mm-hmm. Do you know anything about that?
I know they had it. They've been trying to do it for a long time. I personally think they've had it for years, and they're just now like disclosing it. But I mean, I think it's good in the aspect of us not having to kill animals because people want meat, and also the carbon to produce meat because you gotta feed the cows and everything. It takes more land to feed a cow and then eat a cow than it does if you just ate a plant-based diet.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, you need to have.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's not necessarily true either because you need land to have plants. And if you're going to feed entire civilizations, you're going to need a lot of land to feed them with plants.
Yeah, but it takes less land. It takes less land to eat a plant-based diet than it does to eat a meat-based diet.
I don't know that that's true. I don't know that it's true.
You can look it up. That's a true thing. You gotta think. You gotta have the land to feed the cow grass.
This is
and that
true.
Cow eats a whole lot of grass before it's harvested.
Yeah, and have you looked at a pasture after a cow has grazed on it or a herd of cows has grazed on it? It looks beautiful.
Oh
yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So, would you say that it actually hurts the environment or helps the environment more?
Well, cows do emit a lot of CO2.
And do you know that, really quick, your plants need CO2. More CO2 in the atmosphere is actually beneficial. Factually, more CO2 in the air is more beneficial for a plant-based diet. Fact. Because you can't have plants if you don't have CO2. And the more CO2 you have, the richer environment you have for the plants to grow. It's just a fact.
That is true. I mean, everyone nowadays wants to talk about lowering CO2 and climate change and all that stuff. So.
And you also know that, like, we're all made up of carbon. Like when we want to get and so when we want to reduce carbon, why do we want to reduce it to zero? Follow that logically. Why reduce carbon to zero when we're all carbon? So logically, that means that you want to reduce all life.
No. That
it is.
You want to reduce the carbon going into the air.
Yeah, and we emit carbon just by living, by breathing.
We're made of carbon,
yeah. And we emit it as well. And so, if you want to have carbon neutral, you need to get rid of all carbon-based life. You need to get rid of all life on Earth. That's the only way to do it.
You're missing the point here, though.
No, I'm telling you, like logically and factually, all narratives aside, like whatever the climate change narrative is, I'm just following it to its logical conclusion. And so a carbon neutral world would mean a lifeless world, factually and logically.
Yeah, fully no carbon. Yeah, sure.
And so then if we're eliminating
absence of it.
But then if you're also eliminating carbon, but then you're saying
a good thing's a bad thing.
Well, then how much population control do we have? How much eugenic programs should we implement? It is because we just agreed on that carbon net neutral would mean getting rid of all life. And so in order to reduce carbon significantly, you would then have to incorporate some form of population control. I'm just following it logically here. I'm not going off of the narratives. I'm not going off of emotion. I'm not going off of what I feel. I'm just thinking, okay, so if we're going to do this, how are we going to do this? Bill Gates has even admitted to this. Bill Gates has said in a TED Talk about this, that in order to reduce carbon, we need to inject more people with poison to reduce the population. Fact. TED Talk said this.
I'm aware of that one. He does have a global agenda to reduce population. I get that. I forgot what I was going to say. The point is to just reduce the carbon emissions, because right now what they claim, and I'm not agreeing with it, but there's an excess of CO2 and carbon emissions, and people just want to lower it, and they don't want to bring it all down to zero and kill all life. Obviously, that's not what people
They
want.
do, though. They do. They want
to
net
lower
neutrality. Not net neutrality. They want carbon neutral. They want to be carbon neutral.
That just means you don't put out extra carbon. Like you don't, like you going out for a drive and just, I don't even know what to really say. Buying stuff that like plastics and stuff, when we could be using natural things like banana leaves and stuff like that.
I agree with that.
That's just being more friendly.
Now, don't get me wrong. I am for the environment. I love the environment. I help out at a local farm. I love animals. I love the environment. I want to make sure that Earth is healthy. I think that the Earth is a living being. But I don't believe in the narrative of climate change. I don't believe in the need of protecting the environment from CO2 because that's retarded, in my opinion. It doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
We agree on that. I was just arguing in the point of the debate.
Yeah. So this wasn't. Yeah. So that's what I think about. As far as the environment goes, and ultimately, the end goal is to get rid of all animal products. That's why I mentioned this. I'm up for ad. Okay. Yeah. We'll let you. Let's see. We'll let you in after we get Jimmy Ray out of here. So yeah, but now we can roll over into what we were talking. What your question was as far as gun control. Do I support it?
I'll just say one thing.
Yeah.
To the last topic. All I was gonna say was I've been plant based for like 3 years, so I'm all for eliminating or not eliminating, but lessening our animal product consumption, at least because in America it's a pretty big problem.
Well, the problem isn't the animal-based product. Humans need it to live. Firstly, this is a biological fact. It's a bunch of propaganda spewed by vegans and vegetarians. And the vegan and vegetarian movement was created by Kellogg's and the Seventh-day Adventists. Look into it. So it's very religious and corporate. These two diets, vegetarian and veganism. Well, no. As you know them today, they were created and popularized and propagandized by Kellogg's and the Seventh-day Adventists. This is very provable. They openly admit it as well. So it's in being on a plant-based diet, you can't live long off of it. There's a lot of people who have tried, and everybody eventually converts and eats back some meat because you need to. Humans need meat. We are. I'm sorry?
Where are you getting that from?
Well, I mean, I can just look at nature and know that. I can just look at myself and know that. But then also, there's a bunch of sources as well. So if you look at our digestive tract is closest to a dog's and a cat's. And a dog and a cat are both carnivores. Now, let me add this. Let me add this. When people say, "Oh, well, hang on. Humans aren't carnivores. What are you trying to say? We're omnivores." Well, actually, to be a carnivore means that you eat mostly meat. That's what a carnivore means. And to be a herbivore means that you eat mostly plants. But every animal in existence eats meat. Every animal, every herbivore you think of, they eat meat. Deers eat dead deer all the time. They eat bugs all the time. Gorillas do the same thing.
unintentionally they eat dogs.
No,
Yes.
they don't. It's not unintentional. They eat those things because their body's telling them they need them. Animals are more in tune with nature than we are.
Doesn't purposely go eat bugs.
Yeah, yeah, they do. I mean, there are horses that eat birds. There are cows that eat birds. Like there's numerous videos on this where you can watch them for days of every animal eating meat. So it's a myth to think that.
I mean, even if that's the case, is we have the choice, a moral choice, and we can live. And you're going to debate it, but we can live perfectly, if not better, on a plant-based
It's
diet.
false. It's a religious belief that you have.
It's not religious at all.
It is a religious belief because you just said it's a moral thing. You just said it's a moral thing. It's a religious belief, man. Like if you can't even see that after you just said it's moral, like everything dies, dude. Like something
without being religious.
That's okay. You can think so, but that's all right. So like a plant kills, dude. There's plants that kill sheep. Literally, there's plants that envelop sheep and eat them whole. Fact. Everything kills something. Bacteria kills other bacteria.
We can't eat every plant, no.
No, that's not what I'm saying. You're missing my point here. You said it's moral because we have the choice to kill, but I'm telling you that plants kill. Venus flytraps kill. Other plants kill. Bacteria kills. Parasites kill.
From a survival standpoint. However, you and I, we're wearing clothes. We're not animals.
So what you're telling me is that if we strip man of his natural humanity, we can then give him this fake plant-based diet. That's what you're arguing, literally.
You can eat fruits, grains, beans.
Beans are horrible for you. Greens are horrible for you mostly. Fruit, it's okay. I like fruit.
Fruit is the best thing you can have, honestly. But
well, the best thing that you can have, literally, the best thing you can have.
You know that most Olympians are fruitarians.
I don't believe that at all. I believe that that's a narrative that's been pushed out. Because if you look at the healthiest people in the world, the people that live the longest, a lot of them eat a lot of raw animal products, man. A lot of them do. Like raw eggs, raw fish, raw meat. Like a lot of them do. And a lot of people who train at those high Olympic levels, firstly, they're not in really good health. We think that they're in good health, but they have a shorter life expectancy. They're actually beating the shit out of their body. They're beating the shit out of their body. So to say, look at them and saying, let me give the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, they are fruitarians. Who gives a damn because they're going to live till they're 40, so they're retarded anyway. I don't want to live till I'm 40. I don't want to follow them. I want to live till I'm like 120. So I'm going to listen to the old lady who drank a raw egg every morning and ate some raw liver. Like that's what I'm going to listen to, not the Olympian who looks shredded but then is dead at 40. I got kids to take care of, man. I got a wife. I got a future that I want to have. And you can't have that. Like it's very like, and plus your fertility decreases tremendously on a plant-based diet. That's also a fact. Men lose a lot of testosterone when they're on a plant-based diet. Because there's a lot of soy and there's a lot of estrogen, and it's not good.
The soy estrogen debate, it's phytoestrogen. It does not affect the human body.
You can think that.
That's scientific. You can't argue that.
No, this goes back to the whole religious belief. Like you're believing into science. Like science is also a religion as we know it today. Do you know that 2/3 of all scientific studies done in academia cannot be reproduced? Do you know what that means? That they're invalid. So 66% of all scientific studies are invalid per the scientific method. And I'm sure it's increasing today with what we do science. Greens are horrible for you. Yes, somebody just commented that. They're not that great. You can't digest them. So this goes back to your digestive tract. Your digestive tract is closest to a dog's. Now, if you look at a cow or a gorilla, first off, every vegetarian and vegan likes to say, well, look at the gorilla. The gorilla is so big and strong, but that gorilla is a fat bastard. And he has to eat for like 16, 18 hours a day. Humans on their optimal diet, which there is a human diet, because humans are a species. They are an animal, just like a gorilla's an animal, just like a giraffe's an animal, right? All those animals have a specific diet. So when humans are on their optimal diet, i.e., raw animal based, they can go 16 hours without eating. We're like the only animal that can do that. And so,
our ancestors were built off foraging. We would eat, constantly snack throughout the day.
This is not true either. This is a myth in history. This is not true.
That's not a myth.
If you look, yes, it is. If you look at Weston Price did a beautiful research on this, where he went to all the natural tribes he could find in the world, all of the most natural tribes, which would be hunter-gatherers, as what you're saying. And you know what they ate? They ate mostly raw meat, man. Mostly raw meat. The only times that they scavenged is when they didn't have a successful hunt. And when they scavenged, you know what they were looking for? They were looking for bugs. You know why? Because they wanted some meat.
I mean, bugs are good. As a plant-based person, I'm not going to argue bugs are good.
But you're killing something. How is that not moral? How is that immoral?
I didn't say it was good to kill animals. I'm just saying bugs are a good food. I'm not arguing that.
I'm not saying that they're a good food. I'm just saying that that's what they were actually foraging.
There's a lot of people that have seen a lot of health benefits to going plant-based.
This is not true. What they're actually seeing is this. They're cutting off a lot of their junk that they eat in an American-based diet, which here's the junk that's in an American-based diet. Not every human is the same. False. Every human has the same diet, just like every wolf has the same diet.
That's not true.
People in
Africa don't eat the same shit people in Greek eat.
Okay, so let me explain this to you. Every human needs meat. So if the African is getting their meat from a dog, then we're getting our meat from a cow. Fair. Every diet's going to be a little different, but it's all going to be meat-based. That's my point.
Tell me how long I got there, because I've been plant-based for 3-4 years.
Typically, the average person who's on a plant-based diet that I've seen, the longest that they last is about 5 years, because typically what happens when you first start on the plant-based diet, you're cannibalizing yourself. So you're living off of all your cholesterol and saturated fat and vitamins stored up from eating the animal-based products beforehand. And your body can live off of that for a while. And so that's why a lot of people, when they turn vegan or vegetarian, they'll begin to become very spiritual because they are now thriving off of the cholesterol and saturated fat and other vitamins and micronutrients from the animal products that now is all they have internally. And so they then have these very enlightened moments at times. But it is ultimately something that will fail because it is not natural. That's why it just won't work. Like, for instance, what I was getting at here. So another reason why people feel good when they go over to eating a vegetarian or vegan diet is because of the American diet and how they think meat is. So firstly, they're incorporating a lot of carbs, a lot of sugar, which you have to do as well on a plant-based diet, but you don't realize that the same way. And also, on a quick side note, you're missing 15 micronutrients in any plant-based diet. Fact, 15 micronutrients, which is huge, very huge for survival.
There are vegan supplements.
And you do realize that you didn't have to bow down to the pharmaceutical gods, right, in order to live. So anyway,
you can eat sea moss.
Yeah. So where are you gonna get vitamin B12? Where are you gonna get vitamin B12 without a supplement? You can't. It's unheard of. Where are you going to get your? It's unheard of. It's unheard of. And also, you need to look into the conversion of.
I don't supplement, so I couldn't tell you.
Good.
I'm not a nutritionist. I'm an expert.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, I've studied this a lot, so I know for a fact that it's horrible for you, this plant-based diet. A lot of people go that way because they think it's healthy. But anyway, so.
Eating plant-based, that it's great for you, and I encourage anyone to do it morally, ethically, environmentally.
Yeah, religiously. Exactly. Religiously. It's a religious belief. Like you'll see that someday. You'll circle back to this conversation in like 4 years when you realize that you're gonna die on a plant-based diet.
It's not religious.
It is. You just said morals, ethics, like those are all things those are all tenets of religion.
I'm naming you good things, good reasons.
No, you're not. You're just saying morals and religions. I think it's moral to kill animals. I think it's very ethical to kill animals because you know why? My life's more important than an animal's. Why? Because I'm at the top of the food chain and I have more purpose here on this earth than an animal does.
Okay, if you're at the top of the food chain, I'd like to see you go kill a cow with your bare hands and eat it raw.
I don't have to do that because I have a big brain. I have a big brain. Why would I do that? That's insane. That's also why we're on top of the food chain. I mean, what? One lion tries to tackle an elephant on its own? No. When they go try to hunt an elephant, they're in a pack. We have a big brain. That's also why we're at top. We're not at the top because we're the strongest. That's stupid. That's not good thinking. Like, no. But yes, I would eat a cow raw. I have eaten cow raw. I like a raw steak. A raw steak's very good and energizing. But getting back to what I was saying, a lot of people eat a lot of carbs and sugar in their American-based diet, which carbs and sugar are the root and vegetables are the root cause of autoimmune diseases. And the root cause of heart disease actually comes from carbs and sugar. The remedy for heart diseases, contrary to popular belief, is I'm not a doctor. Don't take this as medical advice here. But typically, from what I understand, is cholesterol a lot of times. Cholesterol actually is hugely beneficial to your heart, as is animal fats, saturated fats specifically. But yeah, so I mean, if you want to keep up with your plant-based diet, that's cool. I'm just telling you that you will come back around and eat some meat once again, or eat an egg, or drink some milk.
I'll prove you wrong in 10 years if you're still kicking it. So
I will, and if you do that, man, then you're gonna look like a shell of yourself. I'll tell you that much. Like everybody I know, and I'm not trying to be rude to you. I'm trying to give you a wake up call here, like what you're going to be seeing, because I've seen a lot of people who have gone down the path.
You're false on this because I've known multiple people who've been plant based longer than I have, and they're in great condition.
I tell you, everybody I know who's on that kind of a diet, they're only a few years older than me, but they look like they're 50, 60. It's horrible, man. It's really horrible. They look like a shell of themselves. And those are people who have been on it for most of their life. Like they're dying.
You can eat plant based and have a really unhealthy diet, but you can also be plant based and have a really good diet.
Yeah, that's what all vegetarians and vegans say. There's no way to be healthy on it. There's no way.
Potato chips, and it would be unhealthy, but it'd be plant based.
Yeah, this is fact. But I'm telling you that you can't digest vegetables. Our body just can't. So, like, if you look at a cow, for instance, do you know a cow? Here's the digestive process of a cow for a piece of grass, right? Your green, your vegetable, if you will.
Neither of us are nutritionists or.
Well, let me tell you this. No, I've spoken with doctors on this, so I do know what I'm talking about on this. So, a cow, Dr. Natasha Campbell McBride, beautiful person. I've interviewed her on my show if you want to check that out. If not, you can just do some research on her and objectively listen to what she has to say. She's very intelligent. Anyway, she's the one who told me this fact, that cows, when they're chewing on a piece of grass, do you know how many times they have to swallow it and regurgitate it? Just the same piece.
They like 4 times, I think. So you got
250 times. Maybe it's over 200. I don't know the exact amount, but it's over 200 for sure. Over 200 for sure, just to digest it properly. Humans,
grass, so I don't know what
humans. I'm equating it to your vegetable, because humans can't digest. Humans can't. I'm not talking about beans or rice. I'm talking about vegetables. Vegetables, your greens.
Spinach and eggplants and stuff.
whatever you want to consider a vegetable. Yeah. You can't digest those. Humans can't because we have the same digestive tract as a
The
dog.
reason cows digest is they have bacteria in their gut.
And we don't. There you go. You're getting it. That's the biological difference. Humans don't have that bacteria to break down the plants, which is why plants are indigestible. You're getting it, man. I'm glad we're having this conversation.
In case I would have starved 3 years ago, so it's not.
No, you're going to start like you are starving right now. You just don't realize it because you must have eaten a lot of meat in your past life, or you must have eaten some meat and or animal products, and so your body's able to survive off of what you have now. And it's going to suffer in the long run, man. Like your body, you just hit it right on the head. You're getting it. Cows have bacteria. Herbivores have bacteria in their stomach to break down plants. Do humans have bacteria to break down plants?
We have bacteria in our gut.
But we don't have bacteria to break down plants. We have acid. We have stomach acid. Two different things. Two different things. And so humans easily digest raw animal products. I'll tell you this. I used to be addicted to bread. I used to be a big bread eater, a lot of rice and beans in my family because I'm Puerto Rican, so that's a very cultural thing. And I used to be a very gassy person. And that's why I was a gassy person, is because of the diet. But then you take that out, and then I eat mostly meat, mostly raw animal products. The gas is gone. The bloatedness is gone. You barely go to the restroom. But on a plant-based diet, on a carb-based diet, on that, you're going a lot. You're gassy a lot. You're bloated a lot. And it's because you can't digest it. And you can't digest it. So that's why your body has a hard time digesting it, and it can't. And so these are just truths about the human body. I mean, we even have canine teeth, man. Like, I know some people are like, oh, well, they're not the same canine teeth as like a saber-toothed tiger or a dog. Well, yeah, because our jawline's different, our mouth is different.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would say. But
we have canine teeth. Why do we have canine teeth? It's because we're supposed to. I don't believe in evolution as such, but that's what you could say. And so if we did evolve on a meat-based diet, which is the other reason too, like people fall into this vegan vegetarian trap, is because they think.
Let me ask you this, because you've been controversial. You've been contradicting yourself on this. So are you religious or not?
Let me ask you this. Where have I contradicted myself?
Well, you were just talking about I don't believe the evolutionary stuff.
So where did I contradict myself, though?
Well, I'm asking, are you pro-religious or are you anti-religious?
So what you're saying is I did not contradict myself. You're just confused on my position. Fair.
Yeah, because you keep saying
yeah.
You keep arguing the religious thing with me on it, but then you say, well, I don't believe in evolution, and then you're talking about the science thing. So are you for science or are you not for science?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
So science is real. Science as it is today, total nonsense.
We agreed on that. Observable.
Yes, the scientific method is legit. Observable science, legit. 100%.
Yes,
100%. Now, as far as why I say evolution is a belief, because it's provably false. The mainstream media is now coming out and saying that evolution really isn't possible. But also, when there's a lot of things that we can't know for certain. So there's a lot of things that we have to believe in, and a lot of people don't want to take that leap and say that they believe in something. Now, as far as your question, am I pro-religion or anti-religion? I would consider myself a religious person. I do think that it is important for humans to be religious. Now, I think that religion can be very, very bad. And one of the religions that I think are very, very bad is the plant-based religion, because it's leading humans down an unnatural path that will ultimately hurt them more, make them infertile. I want to see more kids. I want to see more strong people. I want to see more strong men. And on a plant-based diet, You're not going to see strong men. You're not going to see more kids because women and men become infertile and kids die on plant-based diets. That's why countries have made it illegal to have her kid grow up on a plant-based diet. Also, it's impossible to have a vegan or a vegetarian kid because they're going to thrive inside of the mother off of the mother's blood to begin with. So humans are from the jump carnivores. From the jump, they are carnivores.
That would mean everyone is carnivore then using
Yes, I already said that at the beginning that humans have a diet. This goes back. This is, if you're not following, this is like consistent with what I've been saying, and this is actually making a lot of sense with what I'm saying too.
Culturally, different cultures eat different things.
Did I not just? I've also mentioned in Africa, in some countries in Africa, they're going to be like, "Yo, I want that dog leg," right? But over in China, they're going to be like, "Yo, I want that cat thigh." Fair, cool. Do your thing, man. Eat your cat, eat your dog. Do you? Have your rhino, have your elephant. In Eskimo country, they're eating seal blubber. I've never had seal blubber. I've never had a polar bear. They eat that stuff. I don't have it. However, the overlap is this, which is what I've mentioned multiple times. Animal based. Animal based. Animal based. Humans have a single diet and it's animal based, raw animal based. So yes, you're right. The type of meat a person may eat is different than over here. Like an Indian isn't going to want to come over here and eat the steak that we have. A Muslim isn't going to want to come over to my house and eat a piece of pork. It's not a religion. It's a fact. It's the way we're designed biologically. If we're in the womb with our mother, do you know how you survive? Have you ever looked into that? You survive off of your mother's blood. You're drinking your mother's blood. That's how you survive in the womb. And then when you're birthed and then you're breastfed, then hopefully you're breastfed, well, then you're actually living off of, once again, your mother's blood because that's where the nutrients comes from. So humans are born carnivores, born meat eaters, born, birthed, conceived as a carnivore. Conceived.
I don't even have anything to say against that ridiculous argument there.
How is it ridiculous? Point me out a logical fallacy. Point me out an inconsistency.
Because me eating my mother's milk is not killing anybody, and it's not meat.
See, that's exactly it. You're caught up in a religious belief system when it comes to your plant-based diet. It's not like just because you can. Yeah, I mean, right there. I don't think that that's true. You're then just creating your own religion because that's the tenet of being religious. Like you're just too either you're too cowardly or too ignorant to understand that and then accept that, okay, I am being religious, and then saying that I am creating my own religion by creating my own morals. Because nature says it's a very good thing to kill because it's natural. It's what happens. The earth kills, right? Tornadoes happen. Mother Earth kills. Hurricane kills. Floods kill.
But see, you have the option. That's what makes you different.
No, you don't have the option. You don't have the option if you want to live a long, prosperous life.
Plant-based, and so do I.
If
I wanted to eat nothing but meat, I could.
I mean, yeah, you can do that. This is true. You do have the option to do this. But it doesn't mean that that option is right. As we've been talking about here, like you can't even, you're so emotionally attached.
That's moral. You just explain morals. It's not right. That's
No. This has nothing to do with morals. I'm talking, see, you're getting confused in what I'm saying. When I said right there, it was right on a biological and factual level, not right morally.
I mean, you can say it's facts all you want. That doesn't make it a fact. You're not God.
I never claimed I was God, but there are facts and there are truth. There is a.
You're blindly looking at it, and you write off the notion that no one can live.
No, I did not. You can. You're living on it, apparently, right? I'm saying that you can't live long. I'm saying that you can't live long and healthy. I'm saying that it's not sustainable. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, it's sustainable on an ergonomic level, but
On a what level?
on not only a growing our own food, like I had tried to explain to you before, it takes less land to grow a plant-based diet than it does to grow a meat-based diet. And like I said before, the carbon, the meat industry produces more carbon than all transportation in the entire world combined. You can look it up. That's a real statistic. I mean, you can even eat cheaper on a plant-based diet.
Yeah, and you can have a shittier quality of life as you age.
I don't have a worse quality of life.
I know, because you've only just started. Just wait. I'm telling you. Look at and also I just know that there's no convincing you because you're so emotionally attached to this. Because I just laid out how a baby survives in the womb.
You wouldn't stop eating meat. I could say the same thing about you.
No, it's not that I'm emotionally attached to it. It's that I know that that's what I need to live a long, healthy life.
You're attached to it emotionally. You like eating meat. That's fine. Just say it.
Well, let's see here. So ever since I was in my mother's womb, considering that I was drinking her blood, and then considering the fact that well, I wasn't breastfed, unfortunately. That was a big L. That was a big L. But I did have animal milk, so that did help. Although it was pasteurized. Pasteurized milk is garbage. But now
I would agree with you on that.
Raw milk is where it's at. Hence why I've been emphasizing raw, organic.
You realize less than 20% of the world can eat milk, right? Can actually digest milk.
Well, the thing is, there's a lot of there's a lot of people like Augenus Vonderplanitz, Dr. Natasha Campbell, and others who suggest that you can reverse lactose intolerance by drinking raw goat milk, because raw goat milk is
it's a DNA. It's in your blood. It's a European. Europeans are the ones that invented drinking milk. They made that.
That's false. That's factually false. Yes, it is.
If you go to Asia or any Asian,
what does an Asian baby drink? Infant.
We as mammals,
listen,
we can process lactose at an early age, but then we stop doing that because we no longer drink our mother's milk. We lose that ability to break down lactose when we age.
No, this is not true. You need, like, humans.
You cannot argue that one.
I am right now. Humans, the two best things for a human to drink continuously. Milk, first off, breast milk is known as an elixir. Throughout every legend, throughout every civilization knows that when a man is sick, when a human is sick, the best thing to give them, typically, it's going to be breast milk. Breast milk is a lifesaver.
It has antioxidants in it, yes, but that doesn't negate the fact you can't break down lactose.
And it has a bunch of blood. And it has a bunch of nutrients.
Human breast milk is good for us. Let me think why. Oh, it was made for us.
Yeah.
That's a big flocker.
And let me think about this. Would there be no what did our ancestors do back before there was baby formula? And if their mother went breast and their breast went dry?
They drank breast milk.
From where though?
I drink breast milk. From their mothers.
No, their mother went dry. Their mother went dry and she can't produce anymore. Where are they getting their milk from? Oh, let me guess. They're gonna get it from a goat. They're gonna get raw milk from a goat. That is where they're going to get it from. We can digest milk. To say that we can't digest milk is insane. It's very crucial.
Babies, yes, we can.
As humans as well, as full grown babies are little humans.
Only if you have that biological, the certain DNA, whatever it is, that allows you to process lactose after the age of like 3 or whatever it is.
Yeah, this is nonsense. This is nonsense. And it's probably pasteurized.
I want you to go look it up afterwards, because
I'm not going to waste my time looking it up because I understand the human biology enough to know that that's nonsense.
You're not a biologist. You don't know this.
It doesn't matter that I'm not a biologist. I have an internet. I have a brain. I can read. I can think. I can think logically.
You
I've
just said
I've
it.
looked into this a lot, and I'm telling you that it's insane what you're saying.
You can say I've looked into it all you want, but when you clearly sit here and you're arguing points that you don't know about, it's false.
Interesting. So donkey and horse milk, I think, are the closest to human milk. I heard goat milk, but
That might be true.
I've never had donkey or horse milk. Maybe someday I'll be blessed enough to have that. I've never had goat milk though either. I've only had raw cow milk, which is really good. Which is what our daughters drink. They drink raw cow milk. They get it right from the source, man. They're going to be two. They're thriving. They're so smart. They say so many words. Eat animal based meat. Animal based, like thriving, strong as hell. Every vegan baby I see, weak, slow, like sickly. Same with vegetarian kids.
Where you're getting this from?
Dude, there's so many documentaries on it, and there's so many people in real life who are becoming this, and they're the most unhealthiest people I see.
If that was the case, no one would be vegan.
Yeah, nobody is really, because you can't live off of it. That's okay. Like, that's okay. You can think you are, but you'll come to the realization in about 3-4 years after you wake up from your drunken. Trust me, I used to be. I can relate to you on a religious level. I used to be a born again Christian. I had the I had the vigor and the drive to go out and convert everybody over to Jesus Christ. And if they did not believe in Jesus Christ, they were going to hell. That was my belief. I got my wings in Christianity in a Baptist church. And so nobody could tell me otherwise. Nobody could tell me otherwise during my spiritual evolution that, hey, you're going to look back and be like, that was wrong. But hey, it was a part of the journey. I can relate to you on some level. I know exactly where you're at. So
I used to eat meat. What do you mean?
I know, and you will again. Like you have to in order to live a long time.
I told you I'll prove you wrong. If you're still alive in 20 years, I'll prove you wrong.
All right, sounds good, man. Sounds good. Now, just to continue on this really quick. Well, on something else, you asked me, do I believe in gun control or do I not believe in gun control? Obviously, I believe in some form of gun control. Obviously,
So are you a U.S. citizen?
yeah.
Do you have the ability to own firearms?
Yep.
Okay. So why, as a U.S. citizen, would you want an amendment right, a right that you have as a citizen, be restricted or taken away from you?
Well, I don't know that it's being restricted or taken away. Could you explain that?
Yeah, every gun law is a restriction on the Second Amendment.
Oh, so the fact that my 2-year-old can't go into the gun store and buy a gun is a restriction on your Second Amendment?
Isn't a U.S. citizen. You're
It
granted your
is.
amendment rights at 18.
What? That's so retarded. You're born a U.S. citizen.
Yes, but you don't have your amendment rights until you're 18.
So a 15-year-old doesn't have their amendment rights? A 17-year-old doesn't?
No, when you're 18, you
Then
have
why?
your human U.S. citizen amendment rights. Your rights are granted to you at 18. You can look that up. That's a very real thing.
So why do laws apply to 16-year-olds then?
Laws still do apply, but you have your rights.
Where do the law? Where do they derive the laws from? Where's the framework for this, though? It's the Constitution, right? The Constitution is the framework.
Right now.
The framework of our legal system is what? The Constitution.
Yes.
All right. So the framework of our Constitution does not apply to people that are 18 or under 18, but the byproducts of the framework apply. That doesn't make any sense to me, because then it'd be like, I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. You do have amendment rights at birth. The laws are derived from nature and God. Fact. That's the other thing. On a piece of paper, it doesn't give me my rights. God, nature gives me my rights. The founding fathers even said that.
Human rights, but
the founding fathers even said that. that these are inalienable rights given to us by our Creator.
So why would you be anti-rights? Why are you against having the right to own a gun?
I never said I was anti. I just asked you a question and then you totally went elsewhere with it, and that was, do you think that my 2-year-old should be able to go to the gun store and buy a 9mm?
That's what you asked me.
Yeah, and you didn't answer. Do you
I
think?
answered it with telling you that.
No. Do you think? Do you think that she should be able to? Should she be able to?
I mean, logically, a 2-year-old can't do that, but
okay, let's say a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old can go into the store and ask for a gun.
I mean, sure, but ultimately, you're under the
is it
will of your parents.
No? Is it a yes or a no? Should a 6-year-old be able to go into the store unaccompanied by an adult, and say, "Hey, Mister, I want that Glock"?
Because it's when you turn 18, you have those rights.
No, we just agreed that they're inalienable rights. Now you're contradicting yourself.
I said basic human rights.
And the founding fathers said that these rights are inalienable rights, and then they proceeded to write the Bill of Rights, which are the first 10 amendments. I would allow my 2-year-old to buy a gun, but the gun shop has the right to refuse to sell it. Fair enough. So my whole point with that is, which you won't answer it because you're just dodging the question. I don't get it. I would not let a 5-year-old. I would not let a 5-year-old go into a gun store and buy a gun. I would not. That's a form of gun control.
I'm saying they can't do it because they're not 18. I'm not saying let it or not. I'm saying they can't.
Forget that. Just answer my question. Why won't you answer the question? Because you know that then what follows.
It's to the rights of the parents. If the parents say, yeah, okay, my 5-year-old can have a gun, then sure.
But I'm asking you, of a 5-year-old unaccompanied by a parent goes in and says, "Yo, give me that Glock." Should they be able to buy it?
I don't even know. I'm not even prepared to argue that because that's not the case. It's when you're 18, you can buy firearms. So.
Well, we're talking about gun control. And then we're talking about inalienable right. And also, you don't have, you can go through
those rights until you're 18, so it doesn't even
This
matter.
doesn't even make sense what you're saying, because we just agreed the founding fathers said that these rights are inalienable, endowed on us by the Creator. The Creator did not say, and they do not say it in the Bill of Rights, you must be 18. Where in the Bill of Rights says these only apply if you're 18? Where in the Constitution does it say that?
Okay, well, I've had guns since I was I don't even know, for a little bit over when I was 12. So I don't think a 5-year-old has no need for a gun. So
cool.
A 5-year-old wouldn't be able to use it to protect his life.
Okay, so we agree on some form of gun control, then, right?
Yeah,
so
it's not even gun control because you don't have
that
right until you're 18.
What you're saying is nonsense. So we agree that there's some form of gun control. Some form of gun control. Now, let's see. What else? What else do I think would be appropriate to have gun control on? I wouldn't want my schizophrenic uncle, not that I have a schizophrenic uncle, but if I did have a schizophrenic uncle who is extremely schizophrenic, I would not want him to have a gun. Would you?
I mean, a schizophrenic person? I guess that'd be pretty bad.
Right. So you're for gun control then. Wow. All right. What else? Would I want a drunk person to have the right to carry his gun on him while he's extremely intoxicated and belligerent at that?
I mean, it is a crime to.
But would I want it?
A firearm?
We're not talking about the legality. We're talking about us personally. Would we want that? Would we want that in society? Would society be safer?
Would we want a drunk guy to have a gun?
Yeah, and he's belligerent, meaning that he's aggressive.
Well, if he did anything, I have my guns. I can stop him.
That's not answering the question. Do you want him to have the gun, though? If you had the choice whether or not he was...
You're going around what I said that legally you can't operate a firearm under the
No, you're
influence.
going around and beating bushes. I'm asking you a straightforward yes or no question. It's yes or no. Would you?
Would I want him to have a gun? He has the right to own a gun.
But would you?
If he's
Would
drunk.
you? I'm asking you. Would you? It's a yes or no. That's all you have to say.
Yes or no to what? Would I want him to have a gun?
Yes.
It's his right to have a gun.
As he was drunk.
But he just
No,
can't
while
own
he's
it
drunk.
under the
I'm
influence.
saying while he's carrying the gun, he is hammered. Would you want him to have the gun at that time?
He can carry it, yes.
Okay, so you think it's okay for a belligerent drunk man to hold his gun. Cool. All right, cool. But we do agree on.
That's legal. You just can't operate a firearm and or shoot if you're under the influence.
So we agree that, there should be some sort of age restriction to purchasing a firearm, which is gun control.
Well, I established that, the 18.
Yeah, so you already believe in gun control then. From the jump, you believe in gun control. And then also, we agree that certain mental health issues would disqualify people from owning a gun, right?
There's already background checks and stuff.
Right. So we agree. We agree then on gun control. That's awesome. We agree
on some minor form of it, but they keep pushing for more extreme gun control.
Yeah.
As of late.
I'm with you there. 100%. But gun control is good. It's not bad.
On a small level like that, yeah, sure. I'll agree with you on that.
Yeah, so it's cool. We're in agreement. We're in agreement 100%. So gun control is good, and plant-based is bad. We don't agree on that part yet, but in some time we will.
Plant-based is great.
In some time we will, my friend.
Most people, when they argue gun control, they're on the extreme level.
No, if you haven't noticed, I'm a very logical and level person.
But like say for instance, me, I'm 18 and I can't legally own a pistol, an SBR, a pistol, or a short barrel shotgun until I'm 21.
I think you can if you get it through a private dealer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can't buy through a licensed dealer a pistol. That is true. That's the gun law.
Yeah.
However, SBR and short barrel shotgun, I'm pretty sure that's still the same on that. I'm not 100%. It also depends on the state, yes, because here in Virginia, where I live, there's still we still have gun shows, and that's there's some like loopholes around that, so which I have used advantage of a year ago. So.
Oh snap! Better watch out. They're coming after domestic terrorists, man.
Yeah. It's really not even a loophole, really, but.
Right. No, I'm with you. I think that, there was this piece of legislation that was passed, or was proposed, rather. This was the topic that I wanted to bring up in regards to gun control. So this tweet is from Chris Murphy. Let me see here. So he's a U.S. Senator from Connecticut. And it says, "We have a deal. Today, a bipartisan group of 20 senators, 10 Democrats, and 10 Republicans is announcing a breakthrough agreement on gun violence, the first in 30 years that will save lives." And so it includes funding to states for red flag laws, billions in new funding for mental health and school safety. I think that's a waste of money. Close the boyfriend loophole, so domestic spouses or partners of a domestic abuser can't buy a gun.
That's already the case. I'm not familiar with that loophole.
Yeah, so I guess they're just closing the loophole.
If you have any domestic abuse charges or any felonies, you cannot own a firearm.
Yeah, but what they're saying is the spouse or the partner can no longer get the firearm either. So it's closing the loophole.
Meaning if I was in a relationship with a domestic abuser, I wouldn't be able to purchase a firearm, is what it's saying?
Correct.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure about that. I've never heard that.
I don't know what this is. It says first ever federal law against gun trafficking and straw purchasing. I don't know what that is. This will be the difference between making a tool to stop the flow of illegal guns into cities. Don't know. Enhanced background checks, clarification of laws regarding who registers as a licensed dealer. So yeah, and it has bipartisan support, and also the House just passed a bill a lot that would increase the age one could buy a firearm in total to 21. So whether it be a rifle or a handgun, you would have to be 21 per the bill that passed the House. Now it has to pass the Senate, and then the president has to sign it, as does this bill. This bill hasn't even passed the House yet, but it is being proposed in the Senate. That's ridiculous. What's that?
The age thing. I mean, I'm 18. I have 3 firearms. I think that would just be ridiculous.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you there. I think that the only logical argument that there is to have regarding increasing the age is to increase the age to the point when one's brain is fully developed, which is between 25 and 30. So if you were going to make a age to where people can't buy a gun, it should fall within that range. But if you're not going to do that, then don't even have an age. Like, yeah, I think that there should be an age, but it doesn't make sense. And also, it doesn't make sense that you would increase it to 21 when you can still go into the military at 18. I believe a House of Representative brought this up in a hearing regarding this bill, stating, well, if we're going to make it illegal for 18-year-olds to buy guns and they have to be 21, are we also going to make it illegal for them to join the military at 18? And the person that responded said, well, no, because the military needs people. So, it's there's a bunch of contradictions. Excuse me.
I can see the military thing because in the military you're given orders, so you don't make a conscious decision on whether or not to use that firearm or not.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that kind of makes sense. But on the part of not being able to buy weapons until you're 21, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think if our society considers a human to be an adult at 18, well then, that's when they should be able to buy the firearm. Just like
that's what I was trying to say earlier. That's what I was meaning to try to say earlier. Mm-hmm. I probably didn't word it correctly or whatnot, but.
Well, no, I think you were just trying to bring it up in a context that was irrelevant at the time. Like now it's very relevant. So yeah, like I agree with you. Like 18, that's the age our society deems one to be an adult. Is it really? No. I mean, many people don't even consider themselves an adult when they're 18 nowadays.
I don't feel like an adult. I mean, I pay insurance and shit like that, but I really don't feel like it.
And it's because a big reason for that has to do it's a multifaceted issue, but 2 big reasons I think is there's no rite of passage in our society. 3 reasons: no rite of passage, no real male role models, and a lack of proper faith in God. I think that, and you can tie that into religion, a lack of proper religion, which would then go back into the rite of passage, which would then also tie into better quality men. That's the reason why most men don't feel like they're men. But I'm telling you right now, you're 18 years old, you're a man. You're a full-grown man.
I feel like a man fully. I grew up without a father figure, but fully 100%. I mean, I go to work, I save my money, I pay my bills, all that stuff. I mean, I've taught myself multiple trades. I do all my work on my own cars. I've restored, 2 cars. I don't really know what else I can say as far as that topic, but I mean, I feel like I'm doing pretty well for what I've come through. So
right on, man. It sounds like you're doing well. Now I'm glad that you're picking up the trades. I was a mechanic myself. I went to school to be a diesel mechanic. Was in the automotive industry, not the diesel industry, the automotive industry for like 10 years. Done everything in it. not for me long term, man. Not for me. But it's a good skill to have. It really is a good skill
Yeah,
to have.
I
So
learned it for me, not to make money off it, because I
right.
learned very quick in job shadows and stuff like that that it is not a good profession to go into, in my opinion.
Yeah, right now, but I think in the future there's going to be a huge pay raise for mechanics because it's going to be hard to find. But hey, man, I really appreciate you having coming on the show and having a spirited debate. And yeah, keep in touch. Keep in touch with your plant based diet, and we'll see how it goes. Maybe you'll be the one that proves everything that is true to be wrong.
I mean, I hope so.
All right, man. You have a good night.
See ya, you too.
All right. So that was fun. That was fun. You know, um, a lot of my aggression is mostly for the show, mostly for entertainment purposes. I don't hate the guy. I don't hate people that are vegan or vegetarian. I do sincerely think that it is a belief system that leads people down a bad health path. And I'm not the healthiest person either, right? But I do know that vegetarian and veganism is not the way to go. So anyway, he was a good sport. We had a good combo. We talked about multiple things, and we that was most of the show actually. Was just talking to him, which is cool. I like it when people come on and we can have good conversations. And hopefully we vibe. If we don't vibe, we don't vibe. But I think I can vibe with pretty much anybody. So you know that's going to be it for the show today. Unless anybody else has any questions, wants to say anything, um, then we'll go from there. Vegans miss out on fight. Yeah. Big Russ is right. He's right. He gets it. He gets it. He's been in my corner this whole time. Everybody else in the comment section has been, against me, but that's okay. I'm used to having the arrows slung at me. I've been known to do that. So yeah, I mean that's typically what happens when you speak truth. People don't like that, and that's what we hear. That's why it's called the honest hour. We report the news, we give it to you honestly, we give some controversial takes, hopefully some unique takes that you haven't heard before. I have a different perspective on gun laws. I am against age segregation. Hey, I saw what you wrote, and I respect it. I get it because, like, here's the thing. Let me clarify this a little bit because you bring up a really good point. If we were living in the 1700s, it would be absolute or 1800s or early 1900s. It'd be absolutely imperative that my 8-year-old or 7-year-old or 4-year-old son or daughter know how to use that firearm because it could mean survival, whether that be we have to protect the home or be it I'm gone for 5 days or a week and they need to provide food for the family, right? So in our current society, I believe that there should be an age limit on buying weapons. That doesn't mean that I don't think that there should be children, like my daughters will learn how to shoot a gun at a young age. They will learn how to shoot a gun. They will learn how to use a gun at a young age. I fully intend on doing that. But I do think that there should be limits in the current society we live in because it's so deranged and so sick. But in an agrarian-based society, in a hunter-gatherer society, that kind of stuff, hell yeah, that 5-year-old will probably be a better shot than me. Probably be better trusted with a gun than me too, than most of us in here. So yeah, I am with you. I have a more nuanced take. Like if we were in a different time, a different society, oh yeah, there are a lot of sick people. There are a lot of sick people out there. Um, so yeah, I mean that's a good point you have. And that's what I would add to it. That I do. We have had 90 civilization collapses in the past 2,500 years. Why not still plan for harder times? 100%. That's why I was saying. Like my daughters, they'll learn how to do that. They'll learn what I learned, right? Because I'm learning a lot. Like, I grew up in the country, but I wasn't really what you would call a country boy. I mean, I wore cowboy boots. I did the whole 4-wheeler thing. I chewed. I liked to fish. Wasn't a big hunter. Um, but And and Jimmy, if we have a civilization collapse, you cannot be plant based, my friend. You cannot. You'd have to. You would soon see the reality of the world, and you'd be like, that deer is coming home tonight to me. I'm gonna eat its heart raw. That's what we do in Michigan, and in Ohio apparently. When you kill a deer, you eat the raw heart. You eat its heart raw, right on the spot, fresh, hot. I never did it because I never killed a deer. I wasn't much of a hunter. I've killed a lot of fish though. I like fishing. It's because I'm Puerto Rican. You know, my dad, he would used to swim in the rivers, spearfish. Oh, I'd eat meat if the world ended. Fair enough, fair enough. But all right, guys. That's going to be it for tonight. I will be back here tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. And don't forget, Sundays, we do MOT Today, where it's the whole crew, me, Mick, James. And we talk about the current events, have conversations like this with each other, take some comments as well. Really fun and interactive. That's MOT Today, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then MOT Sports, if you guys are into sports, we have that covered as well here at MOT Media. Mick and James take care of that. It's on Saturdays typically. Right now, the schedule is fluctuating. We're trying to get it set. We'll let you know exactly when it's all set. But yeah, consider supporting as well up there. Like I'm here every day doing this. Um, we have a show going for you 7 days a week at MOT Media, and we're constantly putting out content as you can see. So the support would be awesome. But yeah, guys, much love. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Peace.